Welcome to the Sandro channel. Make sure that you subscribe. Hi folks, Sandro here, Thrill Cartoon News and Shenanigans, and today we're going to be talking about the absolute disastrous news that I just read as soon as I woke up. Okay, folks, like what do you even say? What do you say to this? What do you say? Are you reading this headline? Let's read the headline. Screenrant.com is where you can find it. Velma season 2 reportedly, so it's not 100%, it's a rumor, reportedly confirmed at HBO MAX despite backlash. Why? Like, why? Oh my god, like, do they really want the virtue signal this hard? Do they really want to show how progressive they are this badly, to the point HBO Max $50 billion in debt, and they're like, no, you know what show needs a season 2? The wokest show that has ever been produced, I think we might have seen in the 2020s so far. Like, has there been anything that has outwoked this show? I don't think it's possible. This is a disaster of an epic proportion, and it's just, these companies are out of touch. We even seen this just a few months ago. Disney released their incredibly woke garbage movie, Strange World. That was a huge box office flop, by the way. I think it lost over $100 million. And that movie itself, apparently that movie is getting a sequel. That was a movie that pushed what a bad, like, I don't even know what they're trying to go for anymore, but they just, you could tell whenever they're making these shows, it's all about pushing the diversity, it's all about pushing the agenda, it's all about pushing their left-wing homosexuality views. We see this like literally whenever Disney makes a movie nowadays, it's like, hey guys, we have the first gay kiss, we have the first gay blah 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 blah, first trans, first. They even had a crippled dog in that movie, if I'm not mistaken, right? That Strange World. They were really going for the whole virtue signal to the max. They wanted max virtue points on that movie. And I think Velma has truly undone them. So if you guys aren't familiar with Velma, I'm assuming if you must have watched my channel, you must have seen dozens of videos on the internet talking about it. But it's been one of the biggest disasters, I think, like I said, of the 2020s. I don't think we've seen something quite like this. But this awful, if we could call her a comedian, Mindy Kaling here. Mindy Kaling, they get, for some reason, even though she has a god-awful track record in the past, they go and give her her own Scooby-Doo cartoon. And what does she produce? She produces garbage. She literally self-inserted herself as Velma, being the smartest character on the show, right? So she had to play this character. She had to voice this character. And by the way, she made Velma Indian, in case you weren't, you might have thought this was some shading here. Maybe this was some, it's a very dark room. No. No. You're very wrong. They completely went in here, Mindy Kaling and the gang, and they completely destroyed Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, in fact, is not apparently not even in this show. There's been a few episodes that have been released so far. It's a disaster. So no Scooby. This show takes place in, I believe it's either high school or college. I thought it was high school, but it's actually a rated R show. So they decided to go in this weird direction with it. They decided to make it rated R. Which again, it's like, who is this for? Usually the Scooby-Doo is aimed at children, so we decided this is what their plan was. They're like, we're going to decide to aim this show at adults, but also Scooby isn't in it, and we destroyed all the characters you love. So it's like, who is this for? Twitter, Tumblr? Like, who is this for? I don't quite know. But maybe it's just for Mindy and her own friends, Maybe it's just, he's like, hey guys, let's make a show just for us, not for the fans, just for us. And this is what was produced. If you guys haven't been familiar or up to date with this garbage show, Fred is a sort of, from my understanding, I watched the trailers, I have not watched the show. People are hate watching this show. Please, for the love of God, do not watch this show. Do not, under any circumstances, watch this garbage. Please. But from my understanding, so Fred's gimmick is that he's the white character. Apparently he gets blamed for everything, and they make a lot of jokes that Fred has a small dick over and over and over again. I've watched reviews from other YouTubers, and they talked about some of the details more intricately and stuff. But yeah, it seems like Fred is like the butt of all the jokes because he's a white guy that's rich. And I also heard a bunch of other people say that, yeah, it's really interesting that Mindy Kaling wrote this, like had this show done where they keep ripping on Fred for being a white rich guy with a small dick. Meanwhile, Mindy Kaling herself apparently grew up in a very wealthy home, which is, like, again, who is this for exactly? Is it for her? Is it like, I don't understand. Is she like trying to out privilege herself here? Like, what is happening? I don't understand. But so that's only what she did to Fred. Shaggy got turned into a black guy that I think does drugs or something, and he's obsessed with Velma. But then they made Velma you guys might remember the Scooby-Doo Halloween special from last year. They actually made Velma gay, and she like blood. There was like some other character named like Coco Diablo or whatever the fuck. And they made her like blush when she looked at her, and then they were, oh yeah, Velma's gay. Velma's I think I saw an article today where Mindy Kaling came out and said, yeah, Velma's a gay icon. No. She's no, like no, not the case at all. Literally, Velma has never been gay up until like literally just a few months ago. And it's just been an ongoing disaster with the show, and that I'm not even done. Like I'm not even done. Apparently Daphne also, yeah, Daphne is supposed to be the rich one, not Fred. Fred is usually just I always thought of Fred of more of a middle class type of guy, but apparently in this one, so Daphne Blake usually is the sort of rich one, right? That's her gimmick, and she has like a very pompous father. And, well, that's usually how it would go in other shows. But this show, no, apparently, from my understanding, Daphne actually has two lesbian mothers. So two mothers. So as if the show wasn't woke enough, huh? So, yeah. And apparently also maybe Daphne might be like lesbian herself. So now we went from, in the span of like 5 months, we went from 0 characters being gay in Scooby-Doo. And we have gone from half the team. We went from 0 to half the team being gay in the span of 5 months, folks. You know, literally one Halloween ago, no problem. You know, now Scooby-Doo's gone, so we only have 4 cast members left. One of them has a small dick. 2 of them are lesbians, and Shaggy is now a black guy simp, who I'm assuming is just, you know, all about that 420 and doing drugs. I haven't seen the show myself, but just from hearing everyone else talk about it, yikes. Yeah, actually, the word yuck also comes up. You use whatever words you want. You'll probably get pretty close to describing this fucking train wreck. But so yeah, it's apparently getting a season 2. I do want to read a little bit more here because I woke up, like I said, I was planning on doing a review on Koala Man because I had actually just binge watched the whole season of Koala Man. Wanted to talk about that. But no, we're going to talk about this. So despite its controversy mirrored season 1 premiere, the Scooby-Doo spin-off series Velma has already been renewed for season 2, allegedly. Velma is an animated comedy series set before the Scooby-Doo gang's adventures in solving mysteries. The show is focused on the titular member of the group, Velma Dinkley, who is voiced by the wretch herself, Mindy Kaling, and her life in high school. And I've seen people talking about how, like, projecting that, like Mindy Kaling is projecting this show as her, like, actual high school experience, right? Like, she was probably an overweight Indian woman in high school, and so she's pushing her grievances onto the fans. I even saw some YouTubers calling this show a therapy session for Mindy Kaling to get out her feelings. Like, oh my God, it's too much. It's too much, this show. Oh my Lord Almighty. It's just been a disaster, folks, and I'm speechless that they would come out this quickly and call this a season 2. Now, I did see on Twitter somewhere, it said something like, this show was one of the most watched, like, first episodes of an anime. What was it? Like, let's actually look that up really fast. Velma most watched or something like that. I saw it on Twitter. Velma's, here we go. Velma's premiere was HBO Max most watched animated series debut ever. But what it was, I think it was just a lot of people hate watching it. They're going to watch one episode. This is just like the Thor comic books. Do you guys remember a few years ago, Okay, maybe it was more than a few years ago, but Marvel Comics came out and they decided like, hey, nobody's reading the Thor comics anymore. What if we take Thor and pass the hammer to what was her name, Jane Foster, and she's dying of cancer, and they had Lady Thor. They basically created like Lady Thor here, and usually there's an inscription on the hammer and it mentions the word he, and then when she picks it up, the S there, randomly an S comes out of nowhere and it says she. And I remember there was a huge backlash over the time of what a garbage series, and then Marvel came out and they were like, hey guys, yeah, it's actually one of the most purchased comic books that we've ever seen for Thor. And then like literally like 10 issues later, it had completely dropped off a cliff. And not before long, they immediately had to switch back to the original Thor because the sales were declining. I think Marvel has a history of whenever their series start declining, they actually just make a number. They end that series, then they make a number one. They keep making number ones because the fans usually like to buy that because it's the first issue, right? And oh my God, it's just been, this reminds me of that situation. So here we have Velma's premiere was the HBO Max most watched animated series debut ever. People were looking at this to hate watch it. People were like, what did you do to Scooby-Doo? They had to see it with their own eyes. But like, just because it was the most most watched series debut ever doesn't mean it was any good. We also know that HBO Max forging subscriber numbers. So like, they could hold on, where was it? HBO Max faking sub numbers. I think it was something like that, right? Yeah, 10 million. Okay. The 31-page lawsuit contends that AT&T's Warner overstated the number of subscribers to HBO Max by as many as 10 million subs. So HBO Max is a known liar, right? Here they are saying that this series is the most watched, animated series of all time on HBO Max. They've been known to bullshit. They've been known to lie about their numbers before. So I take this with a strong grain of salt here. Like, I simply don't believe it. I don't buy into the bullshit here. And I'm having none of it. But let's go back quickly. Let's finish up here. Let's get to back on track. I don't want to make this like a 30-minute video. But the show's focused on all our favorite characters that have been destroyed. Without the iconic talking dog Scooby-Doo in the show, Velma's comedy leans heavily towards an adult woke. It should say the word woke here, towards adult woke humor, making it a very different venture from many of the previous Scooby-Doo stories. According to the EIDR, Velma Season 2 is in the works at Warner Bros. And HBO Max. The registry shows Velma Season 2 on its own and a list of 11 episodes. So what they could have done, though, because I think most HBO Max series nowadays are only like 10, 11 episodes anyways, they could have just ordered 22 episodes and cut it in half and said that these were two separate seasons. We've been seeing Netflix do this a lot. I've been talking about it quite a bit, but what a disaster, folks. Oh my God. just so much. Just the whole thing. I just can't believe it. So this could have been all a ruse, right? To make it look like, oh yeah, there's so much interest in the show. Meanwhile, they only ordered one season and they split it in half. There's just too much about this. Like, oh my God, HBO Max, such a disaster these days. Like, all these entertainment companies, it's just one thing. It's like dominoes falling over. So yeah, this is another situation we have here where we don't even know, did they order a bunch of episodes and cut the season in half? Or is this genuinely, are they really preparing here for a second season? We don't know. So the news comes, so it seems to be likely, though. The news comes just a couple of days after the premiere of episodes 1 and 2 on HBO Max. In the days since the R-rated Scooby-Doo spin-off's initial release, some viewers have mounted a review bomb. Yeah, right, of review bombing. There's no review bomb. It literally is garbage. Against it on Rotten Tomatoes. Currently the popular critic and audio... man, Screen Rant, you're so full of shit. There's no review bombing here, folks. It really is that trash. Currently, the popular critic and audience review website audience score is an unreasonably low 7%. What do you mean unreasonable? They took Scooby-Doo and fucking threw it through the washer and destroyed it. They wrung it, man. They just... they crumpled it up, set it on fire, and spit on it. Oh my god. So yeah, it's apparently a very low 7% with 12. What is this? 2,410 audience reviews compared to 53% rating among 19 critics. And there, it just goes on and on. But I just wanted to get the little portion there where they confirm that yeah, on the entertainment identifier registry that there is actual proof that there is a season 2. Then we go to actually look at some of these scores. And even if you're going to say that it's a review bomb, are you going to say that it happened on 2 different sites? Because this is the Rotten Tomatoes right here. You can see 1.3. So yeah, here they always talk about review bombing. You really think this many people gave it a 5 out of 10? There's no fucking way. So yeah, I don't think there's a review bombing at all. I think this was just a pointless garbage show. And 1.3 out of 10. Then we go to IMDb, and even here we get a 1.5 out of 10. What a disaster. And here's a couple pictures of this garbage show. Like I said earlier, yeah, Daphne and Velma, they're doing the shtick with the lesbian thing. Apparently Daphne has 2 moms that are in a relationship there too. And it's just more woke garbage from the entertainment company. And Shaggy's name is Norville. I keep forgetting about that. Well, like his real name was always like it was Norville, but like they're not even using the name Shaggy anymore. He's a black guy named Norville now. It's just what a fucking disaster, folks. So yeah, that's what the situation with Velma here. I really hope that they changed their mind. We saw Inside Job. I just did a video last week talking about how Inside Job was confirmed for a season 2. It was renewed for season 2, and they did a process called unrenewing. I've never seen this done before. They unrenewed it. They called it back. They're like, no, Inside Job, this thing's done, folks. It's canceled. It's only getting 1 season, and so Inside Job is gone. It's gone. So I really hope they do the similar situation here where whoever was thinking about giving this show a season 2, I really hope they suddenly are like, actually, guys, we heard your feedback and this is a terrible show. We're not going to proceed with season 2. We can only hope. We can only dream. But that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Please let me know all your thoughts below. It's just such a disaster. Let me know down below. Please like, please share, please subscribe. And why not watch an ad for your boy, Sandro? Thank you guys so much. And like I said, please, God, cancel season 2 of Velma. Please. The end. Bye-bye.